It's a great day. My name is Che Brown, the happy entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the number one business development and revenue focused late night show in the country where we are on a mission. And our mission really is to empower, our mission is to inspire. And our mission really is to provide you, that's right, you, the hard-working entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And on this episode, we have the one and only Sabrina. She's in the building, Sabrina Graham, and she'll be talking about how to leverage credit to help really grow your business. Is that possible? What's going on, Sabrina? How you doing?
I am doing great. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing amazing. It's an honor and a privilege. Thank you for being here. And thank you that are watching at home. We appreciate you allowing us to stream into your home during these very, well, remarkable times we live in the world that we're in right now. But folks are looking at it right now and they're thinking, whoa, Shay, credit? I mean, someone knows something about how to increase credit to fund your business. I guess the first question I have is, why are the people struggling these days? Or why do entrepreneurs struggle to have business credit? I know it's a loaded question, but I'm just curious. What's some of the challenges they have?
Yeah, what I can see, some of the challenges is that they jump into the business and try to get the business credit right away. But what they don't realize is sometimes these banks want to look at your personal credit. And so if your personal credit isn't good enough and your business is not in business for a certain amount of time and it's not bringing in the revenue, then you're not going to get the loan or the credit or the line of credit that you're trying to get. So that's where I come in to help people with their personal credit and get that increase so that they can leverage it over into their business.
Now, let's talk to two type of folks right now. And we're going to get into her backstory. I know y'all want to know how she becomes Miss Perfect Credit and all this stuff. We'll get to that in a minute. But take a moment. If you were talking to someone who's just getting in business and they're like, hey, my credit's okay, but what's one, two, or three things I need to do so I can slowly migrate? Because I'm just getting started in business. That means in business less than 2 years. And I want to be able to migrate from my personal credit I've been leveraging to my business credit. What's one, two, or three suggestions that you would have for that person?
Yes, and actually you can start that early. Once you create, make sure you created your LLC and you open up your business checking account because some people are in business for 2 years, 5 years, and they haven't even created their legal formation. You don't have to do LLC. I'm just throwing out LLC. So make sure that that bottom line is done and you have your bank account open. But one way that you can move from your personal credit to your business credit is that you're just using your personal credit to open up your business credit. And so you'll be able to, you can start with your banks. A lot of times when you're opening your checking account, they can offer you a credit card, they can offer you a loan, and they can look at your personal credit to approve you for business credit. So it won't appear on your personal credit, it will appear on your business credit and help you to establish your business credit. And so that's one thing you need to know that it's not going to necessarily appear on your personal credit. They're just using it to gauge whether or not you're going to be responsible in your business as you was in your personal life.
I love it. And can we talk to the other group now? This is the person that's been in business. And Shay, I was trying to dibble and dabble and dibble and dabble, but I've got a little history here. What's one or two or three things I can do to finally not just get into momentum, but really start and establish some business credit? Again, a loaded question. I know y'all in different industries, different places, different backgrounds, different revenue streams coming in. So I'm asking just to look at the seasoned business owner.
Yeah, the seasoned business owner, it's almost similar. Again, if you haven't started with your business credit, you have to rely on your personal credit. But if you already started with your business credit, some of the things that you want to do is make sure that you're checking your business credit. Sometimes we forget to check our business credit. Make sure you're set up to get alerts about your business credit. Make sure you're paying your business um, on time. Some of these credit cards that we have from a business perspective, some of them are you have to pay them in 30 days, right? or some of them you can pay over time like you do your personal credit. So you got to know what type of credit you have in your business, and then you just expand from there. Go after loans, go after a line of credit, because the line of credit, you don't have to make those monthly payments. You use it as you need it. So I think the line of credit would be like the top type of credit that you want to get.
I love it. You have to get started somewhere. You don't have to get it right, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes you just got to just get going. So now's a good time to get going. Now, not everyone, Sabrina, has read your bio. Some folks don't know who you are. I know you're famous. A lot of folks like, oh yeah, Sabrina, what's up? And there's other folks like, I don't know her. So can we slow down for a moment and you kind of share a little bit about who is Sabrina? You know the question, and what's the backstory that led you to doing what you're doing now?
Yes. Well, everybody, you already know I'm Sabrina Graham. I'm also known as Mrs. Perfect Credit. And my background is I'm originally from Florida, and I now reside here in Texas. And my background as to how I got started with credit was I got my credit to good credit, right? And I went to get my first home, super excited. There's the papers that stacked up between me and the keys. So I'm just signing, and I'm signing paper, and I'm signing paper. Got the keys, got the house, super excited. And then I found out I had a balloon loan. I had a high risk loan, and quickly found out that my good credit was just good enough credit, just good enough to get a high risk loan. And that's when I realized, wow, I'm facing having to pay off that huge loan within 5 years instead of a 30-year fixed loan rate. And I was in jeopardy of losing my house. And I never wanted to have that feeling again, facing losing my house. And so I worked very hard. First of all, I prayed, Lord, please give me the wisdom that I need to get through this, to save our home. And what do I need to do to fix my credit? And so I started on that journey of taking my credit to good to excellent. And it just became exciting to me. And then I found out what perfect credit was, which, by the way, is 850. And I went after that, and I ended up getting a perfect credit score. And so that was my journey as to why really I got into of getting into credit, because man, if you ever felt that pressure before of losing something that you work very hard for, you do whatever it takes to not lose it.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. How did you feel once you had, looked at your credit report and said, well, I've got perfect score? And is that across all the bureaus, or was that a integrated amount? How does that work?
Yeah,
I mean, I,
so
I, I had like 850 on the nose. 800 is good. I'm like, oh, 800. I think I'm balling, by the way.
because each one can be a little bit different. Like the credit bureaus can be different, whether or not you go with the the FICO score versus the Vantage score. So there's different scoring, and then it's also different versions. There's so many versions out there, it would just blow your mind. But I did hit it on a certain version of it, and I hit it a few times. One time I was at 847. I was just sticking to that 847. I'm like, what is it that I'm missing to get me to 850? And another time, one thing about credit, it fluctuates. And so at one point, my credit was down in the mid 700s, and I figured out how to get it from the mid 700s and skyrocketed right to 850. So there was different times when I hit that 850 across the different credit bureaus. It just depends on the time.
What do you enjoy most about what you're doing these days? Because having the perfect credit score is very important, and being able to leverage credit, get the best interest rate possible, and grow the business. What do you enjoy most about what you're doing these days?
Oh, wow. There's a few things that I enjoy. One of the things I've gotten into is real estate. And I love the part of real estate that I love doing is going out finding land. And that's so peaceful for me. That's so enjoyable. I get to travel around looking for land, stepping on the property. I enjoy doing that. So that's one of the things that having a great credit score allowed me to be able to invest in property. So that's one thing that I enjoy doing. Another thing I enjoy doing is traveling. I love to travel. I'm coming up in June. I'm going to Japan. And so I do
Ah,
love to travel. And one of the things that I enjoy doing is with my credit cards, and you have to do this responsibly. Let me just say that is I pay just about everything with my credit card so I can get points. And so each year I rack up about $1,200, $1,500, and I just pay my bills on time every month. And I end up getting twelve to $1,500 that I can use to, use it for whatever I want. So I enjoy doing that too. And one of the things I like to do with that extra money, I like to give back as well. Is another thing that I enjoy doing. So, and I'll say one more thing. I love walking into, like, for instance, the dealership. They know that I have a great credit score. So I walk in and I feel like I'm like Beyonce in there. They're like, oh, that's Sabrina. Give her whatever she wants. She's going to be qualified for it. And I feel like I'm like, oh, look at me. Someone who normally wouldn't be like a superstar, but from a credit perspective, I'm a superstar.
now you help people get the credit. Do you also help folks who are trying to get their credit repaired, or are you on the other side of coaching them about credit? I just want to ask that question first for someone that's listening. It's like, man, mine is not that good. Do I just start paying on my bill? Is there a way to get this stuff like this wiped off my credit report? To that person's leaning forward. Any suggestions? What would you say to that person?
Yeah, so for me, I don't focus on credit repair.
Okay.
Because that's not how I did my credit. I did mine a little bit different. I didn't go through a credit repair company. So I don't have that expertise in the credit repair area. And so what I do with people when I look at it and I'm like, oh boy, yeah, they're going to need some credit repair, some serious surgery here. I can refer out to another organization for credit repair. My focus is to help people who they've gotten their credit repair and they're like maybe at 700, 630, 645, but they're stuck. They don't know how to take it to the next level. So that's where I come in. I help you to take your credit to the next level and get you from that 700 score, get you to 800 so that you can learn how to build your own credit and how you can monitor your own credit so you can know when your credit is dropping, what's impacting it, what do you need to do, especially when you want to get like a new purchase or something like that. Here's some things you can quickly do to get that credit score up. So I want to teach you how to fish, basically.
I love it. And that's a perfect segue to a segment we
Mhm.
have here called Today is My January 1st. Now, for those folks who tune in every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you know what we're about to do. In fact, you can say those magical words. Today is my January 1st. If everyone else is eavesdropping right now, you're listening and want to know, Shay, what is he talking about? Today is my January 1st. Today is my January 1st is our personal mantra at the Happy Entrepreneur Show. It represents a fresh start. It represents a do-over. It means our past, no matter how dark and gloomy that past is, or how bright and sunny that past is, the past no longer equals the future. And so my question for Sabrina on the other side is really twofold. Number one, when you hear those words, that's right, today is my January 1st. What do you hear? What do you hear? And number two, where was another moment, another time that you had a setback in your life, and how did you bounce back from it?
Yeah, so when I hear that, that excites me. I'm like, yes, it's a start over. We're about to create some goals and let's work on executing, right? So when I hear it's my January 1st, it's like start over, right? So I think my first January 1st, of course, is when I was saved. That was my first one. But I have a lot of January 1st. And I would say my last January 1st is when I was in a car accident. That was July. And I just graduated from the Les Brown Speaking Academy. We just did a co-authorship of a book with other authors. We're celebrating. I'm excited. And I have all of these plans of what I'm about to do, lots of plans. And my mom and my sister was with me. We were in Georgia. We were celebrating and we went out to dinner. And right when we were getting ready to turn in for dinner, all I hear was boom. And I was in a car accident. I got hit by a drunk driver, and it was actually on this side. It actually hit my side of the car, and thank God I walked away. All three of us walked away with no broken
Yeah.
bones because when you get hit by a drunk driver, it doesn't always end up right, And so I would say when that happened, of course, all of my plans had to go on pause. It was like I'm celebrating, I'm telling everybody I'm doing this, and then it stopped. Everything stopped. And so I had to rest. And as an entrepreneur, it's hard to rest. We're always on the go. We're always busy. We got family life, we got business life, we got friends, we got ourselves, we have our God. I mean, it's just so much going on. And I had to rest. And what was amazing about the rest, I started really enjoying my rest. Laying in bed, just relaxing and have my feet up and studying. And that it became amazing for me. And so I had to rest in my rest because at first I just wasn't resting. And God was like, okay, Sabrina, you need to rest. And here's how you're going to do it. And so from that, I received lots of guidance in my rest. But I would say that was a start over for me. That was a reset for me. That was a everything stops, came to a complete halt, and I had to think about everything that I was doing and just wait until I was healed.
Wow. How was it trying to have that patience? Is that something that naturally came to you, or did you really struggle in the beginning? And I'm glad you're here, by the way. Thanks for sharing the story and being so authentic with us.
Yes. Oh, it was hard. It was so hard. I was like, okay, I'm strong. I can do this. You got this, Sabrina. Get up. And I was trying to do things and it just wasn't working out. It wasn't working out at all. And it was difficult. It was very difficult at the beginning. And that's why I said, God was telling me that you need to rest in your rest. And so I finally did that and it was amazing. I didn't realize how much I was missing rest. And it was so amazing. But it was difficult. It was so hard at the beginning. There were so many things I wanted to do that I just couldn't do.
Well, I'm glad you're healthy. I'm glad you're back. And I'm glad you're making a huge impact that you are. So praise God for the praise. Yes, 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 yes. You're here. That's like,
Yeah.
it's amazing. You know, I get a chance to ask a question when we have time. We have a few minutes now. And that is, what's one of the best pieces of advice you've ever been given? And I'll frame the conversation for the audience so they realize you've had a lot of training, lots of mentors along this journey of life. You probably read more books and watched more videos than you can think of. But if you had to mention, say, well, Shay, here's one piece of advice I've been given along this journey that's helped me that I want to pass on to someone else, what would it be and why?
Okay. Wow. Whew. There's so many pieces. To think of one, I would say, I think it's Zig Ziglar, and I think Les Brown said this quote as well. But you don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great. And that's something that I learned that, hey, you don't have to have it all together. You don't have to have your business plan 100%. You don't have to have your finances 100%. You don't have to look 100%. You just have to get started. And as you go, you will get better and better and better, and you will become great. With my credit, I didn't start out great. I started out really bad. I had bad credit. I had like 60 days past due, 90 days past due.
Wow.
I was just, I was in college just getting all these credit cards and didn't realize, I thought I can just pay them back whenever, right? And so I'm just enjoying myself. I'm thinking I'm rich. Hey, do you want me to buy you something? I'll buy you something, right? And so I had really bad credit. And once I decided that I got to fix this, I got to get better with my credit. It took me a while, I got to 600, got to 650, got to 700. I got better and better and better until I got great. But it does fluctuate. I use my credit. It goes down. It's dropped to the 700s, right? But I do know how to get it back up. And so even though you can be great, there's still room for improvement for you. So just get started. That's my biggest advice for you. Just get started and seek the wisdom of God as you're starting on the journey.
And you talk about just get started, and that's the most important part. But what do you say to a person that says, I'm not consistent? Does she have any ideas on how to be consistent? I pay the bill sometime on time, got the money, and just sometimes just totally hit the dates because I'm not paying attention. But in all seriousness, what is you say that? What would you say to someone that's saying they're struggling with consistency as the key right now? What words of advice would you give?
All right. So I'm thinking of two. Number one is when you miss a payment, you have to know it's going to impact your credit score by up to 100 points, and it can stay on your record for 7 years. That's a long time for it to impact your credit. And so we all know life happens. Life be lifing, right? But you have to learn to communicate with creditors when life happens. Even when you forget, hey, I hit a perfect credit score, and at one point it dropped. And I was like, what happened? Well, I forgot on one of my credit cards, I had an annual fee tied to it, and I forgot the annual fee was there. But when I did remember and when I saw it, I picked up the phone and I communicated and I pushed them to remove it from my credit. So you have to communicate is the key. And then the second thing I want to point out is put it on auto pay. If you put it on auto pay, you don't have to worry about remembering, right? You just still check to make sure that it cleared, but auto pay helps you to remember. We have that now where you just set it and forget it. I think that's an infomercial. But really, you just set up the auto payment and let it come out every month, but you still monitor it because, especially if it's a credit card, that amount that's coming out can fluctuate. So you want to make sure that your money is there in the account. But auto pay is another way that can help you be consistent.
Love it. This is good. I like the part that you could call and say, "Could you please take this off?" I mean, I like that. As we come down the home stretch, a two-part question. Number one, what type of clients do you work with these days, if any? And number two, because I'm not sure if your firm is taking on any clients. And number two, how can people connect with you? Like if they want to stay in this conversation, they want to connect with you and be a part of what you're doing right now, what should they do?
Oh, yes. So for me right now, I just focus on education. So I create a lot of workshops, I create courses, and I'm writing books. And so I just focus mainly on education. I am launching where I'm going to do monthly accountability because sometimes you just need that accountability, right? And it'll be a group setting, and you'll have the opportunity to ask me questions. Let me look at what you're trying to do. A lot of times I can just look at it and say, okay, you need to adjust this, and that will help you boost your credit score by this many points, or look at this over here. So I can help you out with that as well. So that's some of the things that I'm doing right now. In the future, where I want to take this is to have a group of people. We get together, we buy some land, and we do some development. We're going to build some homes in a community. And so that's something that I'm working on putting together as well. And so to get in contact with me, I do have a YouTube channel. You can follow me and subscribe on my YouTube channel. It is at Mrs. MRS dot perfect credit. You can follow me on YouTube. You can also go to my website at www.mrsperfectcredit.com. And then you can always email me. I would love to hear about your journey with credit. Anything that you may not see that I have training out there and you have questions about, let me know. I can put some training together and put it out there as well. My email is Sabrina, Sabrina, at Mrs. MRS Perfect, PERFECT credit, CREDIT.com. So those are ways you can get in touch with me.
Make sure you get in touch with Miss Perfect Credit.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. I appreciate it. Certainly a topic we need in business and in our personal life. So thank you so much for all that you do. Can't wait to connect with you again soon.
All right. Sounds good. See you later.
And thank you. Thank you to viewers. Thank you for tuning in, by the way, because without you, we don't have a show, by the way. So I never get tired of reminding you every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, no matter what's going on in your life, whether you've been hit, with the punch that you never saw coming, or you're on the upgo, like things are doing well and you try to get to the next gear. This I know to be true, that today in this moment is your January 1st. And because of just that one reason alone, I believe your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. With that being said, my name, by the way, hasn't changed. It's still Che Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And I promise you from the bottom of my heart, we'll make some good things happen. We connect again next time. God bless, and we'll see you on the other side. Peace. Thanks a lot. We out of here. Bye-bye, Sabrina.
Thanks, everybody.